I like the fact that it is so easy to get original quality stuff in Germany. I'll give an example. And the relationship between how expensive things are and the quality, at least to not when we're talking about now outrageous prices, but in the beginning, right? If the curve is like this between so the price and quality, right? It really goes like this in the beginning, right?
Yeah.
Before it goes like this. If price is on the on the y-axis,
Yeah.
quality is on the x-axis.
Yeah.
It's like at first, the more you pay, the more quality you get, and then maybe at some point the line gets a little bit steeper, such that you are paying more for just a little bit more quality. So it goes like
Okay, I
this,
get
and
what
then
you
it
mean.
starts going like this. But the thing is that it's so easy to get quality stuff in Germany. If I need a wristwatch, I know that if you go into a store and you buy, if they tell you that's 50 euros, this is 100, that's 500, and that's 2,000, you don't need a fact checker. You don't
Yeah.
need,
Yeah.
there's just
Yeah.
not so many counterfeit products out there that you have to worry too much, right? You want to get a nice shirt, you go into a store, even if it's going into a store like Zara, H&M, or Bershka or something. So I'm not even talking high end now. If you pick the 20 euro product and then you pick the one that is 50 euros or the one that is 100, immediately you just see that if I pick that one, I'm definitely going to get the value for that money that I've paid. And you don't have to fact check it too much. That is something that I really appreciate about here. Because what has happened to me in Nigeria is that I just couldn't buy anything in Nigeria. I told you,
Yeah.
right? Growing up, all my stuff, all my clothes, shoes and stuff, majority, almost like 95, 98% of the time was always from Europe. And when I started buying things by myself as well, it just meant that I had to wait until I could get them from Europe.
Yeah.
I just couldn't be comfortable to buy things in Nigeria.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I'm not sure. Even when you go to like fancy boutiques, they have mixed all their products together,
Bro,
and it's like,
I can
do
yeah,
you
now
even know if you're getting the original one or not?
exactly. Now I'm thinking about it. There was this perfume store in like kid you not, man. I think the blue de Chanel that I got there was because I got actually the original one after that, and I realized that was actually fake. And this was supposed to be a reputable store. And yeah, you're 100% right. I feel like you don't really know what you're getting when it comes to Nigeria. You still have to kind of fact check things to know that, okay, I'm paying for the quality. And from my experience, I feel like the best way to actually get quality in Nigeria is not actually from a store or whatever. I think when it's mostly recommendation of these guys, I don't know how it is right now. Maybe they have Instagram pages now, but back then it used to be this Unilag guy that is really having probably friends in Europe or in the US, and he's just doing the side hustle. Like, bro, this my wristwatch, it's like 10, 11 years now. The only thing I've done to it is like change battery. And I was out last night and someone was still giving me compliment on like, oh, this is Festina. Like, I'm like, this is quite old, you know. It's like, and I got it from this Unilag guy that was just doing a side also importing things himself. So you just need to verify these guys and you can then be sure. And that's insane to think about that.
It was the same for like footwear. Yeah, I'm telling you. This exact description, like, I remember that I at least got maybe one or two footwear from Nigeria, like without getting it in Europe. But this actually was through a guy that his sister was in Europe.
Yeah.
So they would create a catalog and we would pick and then we would wait for the shipment to arrive. So when I got into the bank and guys needed shoes, I called my guy again, like, bro, like, let me have that catalog. And then send it to everyone. Everyone picked. And then we got shoes that we felt like was quality. The alternative that I then had to this was to actually get things made bespoke. I had some sandals made bespoke. I had some shoes made bespoke. All my suits were made bespoke. Even I had some white shirts and stuff made bespoke in Nigeria because you just couldn't trust what you were getting unless you get someone to get the quality material. You take it down to the designer and the tailor and they get it done for you. But here it's just so easy. Like it's so easy, and the relationship between the price and stuff is quite reasonable as well. Until you start getting into ostentatious bit, and then the increase in quality does not reflect on the increase in price.
Yeah, when it comes to what I like, the excellent transportation system. Living in Germany, Germans will be like, oh, DB, Deutsche Bank, this. I think they are just poor people, man. I swear to God. Because when you put it on a global scale,
Oh my goodness.
maybe a few countries that would beat Germany would probably be like Japan, maybe China, I'm not sure, but I know definitely Japan. Like, but there are not a lot of countries
China probably.
that would, beat Germany.
China probably.
China will probably too, right?
China.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe Singapore as well or something.
Yeah. But Germans will complain a lot about it. But I'm like thinking back in Nigeria, like, I mean, things are getting better also when it comes to transportation, especially in Lagos, because I know it used to be terrible. And yeah, it's on a different level. I feel like I did appreciate that in Germany, because it helps with being punctual. When you then say you would be somewhere, you can then be there, because most times the trains would get, especially the local ones, right? Not like the intercity ones. They will usually get there at the time they say they will, so you can rely on them for the most part. And yeah, that's something I do appreciate.
That's definitely a big deal, yeah. And I have something in connection to that in, at least in Europe, I don't know if it's the same in the US, it's so much easier to travel the world. So for me, it's not even a question of the price itself, because I think when I travel within Europe as well, I tend to spend quite a lot. But it's just, maybe it's the fact that there's a summer that you don't want to miss out on, and you just need to do something, that there's this difference in how active you feel when it comes to traveling. And I say this because I remember one time, my oldest brother, he was in uni at the time, and he was supposed to travel to London with my mom, and he was rejecting it. Like, Nigeria was too sweet for him, that by the time he came back home from uni, it was just like, why did you book my ticket? And it's like you can't really feel. But in Europe, because maybe we have all this summer, winter thing, you want to make use of those moments that traveling becomes a necessary part of your existence, yeah?
Yeah.
As opposed to, well, you do it just for fun, or you do it just for, if you feel like it almost becomes a necessary part of your existence. And now, even if you're smarter about it than I am, at least, it's cheaper.
Yeah. Traveling can really be cheap in Europe.
Go with train. Yeah, exactly.
Flixbus will take you, as long as you are not in a hurry, it take you most places in Europe, bro. Like for like $30, you're going to France. Yeah, going to from Germany. You can go to Denmark. Anyway, like it's insane. But you are not bothered about the time you get there, or like you just cruise like 2 days. Yeah, they have like 20, 30 stops, and you don't mind, Yeah. And if you book the exclusive ones, they are still quite comfortable, because I used Flixbus a lot, especially when it comes to entire part of Germany, from like Stuttgart to Cologne, Stuttgart to Munich and stuff. Yeah, they are quite comfortable. At night, they are usually stress-free.
Even less.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely something, at least, that I look at it and I'm like, wow, like I really enjoy that. There's one other thing that I actually remembered before now. You know how in Nigeria, if you go out to eat, I think this is what also makes the price between Nok by Alara and somewhere else a little bit high, because Nok by Alara will brand themselves, also then saying, I promise that we have a very clean and nice kitchen. I think it's quite easy to get food poisoning if you just eat from anywhere in Nigeria.
Yeah.
But in Germany, the standards are so high and well monitored that the cases are much less.
That's true.
That you can be sure that if you go in somewhere to eat, you can be sure that they have been forced to make their kitchen clean enough.
Yeah.
And that gives you a little bit of confidence as well where you eat, because it's like you don't have to worry about that too much. Some of the places that you see with food in in Nigeria, those people should not even be selling fried shit. It should be
Yeah, that's
completely
true.
unacceptable.
That's especially with the street food. That would be the problem with the street food. Yeah.
The fact that when you drive as well, the driving rules are quite strict, and the infrastructure supports the speed limit. There are cameras that capture that. This a little bit of risk-free life, that if you walk around the city, there's clear walk paths, so you can actually take walks in the city centers. There's like bicycling lanes separated, and you even have something in Germany they call Fußgänger zone. So walk zones where cars are just not allowed, and you can really tour around cities and stuff. Bro, you go to some markets in Nigeria, the road is just tiny. Everyone is walking back and forth. You would think in your head that there should never be a car here. Do you know what I mean? You would think in your head that there's absolutely no way
reason.
that a car should be going through here. And then you still hear, bah, bah. I'm like, huh? Like, this is in the middle of the market.
Yeah, in front of the car.
It's just all that organizational bit that makes life a little bit less risky. I really enjoy it here. And I know that we don't realize that we have gotten used to that, not worrying about that, until you go to Nigeria and you recognize that, where am I supposed to walk on this road now? That's when it's like, oh, because some roads have it on the island and mainland, but not all roads.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh, I'm actually walking on the road.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.